Hello, this is Lacquerography, and thanks so much for joining me for my wish list for Little Box of Horrors. And this is for the month of September 2023. And the theme this month, this has actually been a series of complementary themes. The theme for September is classic horror movies, and this time it's from the decades spanning the 90s to the 2000s. This series of decade by decade classic horror movie theme has been going on for quite a few months. So this month, the focus is the 90s to the 2000s. The shop opens September 18th to the 30th. I have already gone in and made a wish list. Let's take a peek, and I'll share all these shopping details with you at the end of the video. This first item on my wish list is by All Mixed Up Lacquers, and it's called You're Next. The inspiration for this one is Final Destination, and the description is that it is a sheer milky white with intense red shimmer and intense red gold green flakies. And there's a cap here of 75. And what that cap means is that there are only 75 items available. And once those are sold, this item is considered to be sold out. So I have to say right off the top, things like horror movies, horror stories, they're not really my jam. So a lot of these inspirations I can't really connect to because my world doesn't include scary things. We don't mix. So, in terms of the inspiration, I can't tell you a whole lot about how I think this connects. But what I do know is I think this is a beautiful polish. And considering that we are right now, when I'm filming this video, right in the middle of September, this one to me is very beautiful and it has all the fall vibes. I am loving the look of this sheer-ish base with these flakes. It speaks fall to me. I know I am drawn to this type of polish quite a bit, and I do have a couple of polishes in my collection that are a little bit similar. But for me, the thing that really stands out about this polish is that intense red shimmer. And actually I'll try to hover over this image right here. I find that the intense red shimmer does, I don't know, it changes the look of the base. It glows through. I know I don't have anything quite like this, although I do have polishes with this similar fall vibe with like a kind of a white crelly with flakies. So I'll have to take a close look at how this one compares, but this intense red shimmer is what is catching me right now. And here's another image of it too. For me, the intense red shimmer does give that white base at some angles, not because you don't see it in all of the swatch photos, but a little bit of that peachy pinky look. So this is All Mixed Up Lacquers, You're Next. This next item on my wish list is by Chameleon Nails, and it's called He Comes at Nightfall. And for me, Chameleon Nails this is a new to me brand. I hadn't heard of them previously before checking out the offerings this month for Little Box of Horrors. So I was really excited to see this. And I've added it to my wish list. I'm always eager to try new to me brands. So the inspiration for this one is that it is inspired by the movie Sleepy Hollow, the eerie nights when the headless rider was out and looking for his next victim. And the description for this one is a vibrant dark blue base with golden holographic glitters in various sizes and golden reflective glitters. And there is a note here that says that due to the high amount of glitters and reflective glitters, this polish is very thirsty, which means a good glitter smoothing top coat, or at least 2 coats of regular top coat, are needed to achieve a smooth, glossy finish. Now, I did also notice when I was wish listing this polish that there is a cap for this polish as well. The bottles for this one, actually, I didn't know this either, are 11 milliliters, but there's a cap of only 80 of these items available. So if I do want to get it, I should probably purchase quickly. I actually have noticed that this month there are quite a few items that are available in only small quantities. So that's something to keep in mind. If you want to shop, you may want to purchase at the beginning of the purchasing window closer to September 18th rather than leaving it until the end around September 30th. So back to this offering. The moment I saw this, first of all, I knew that it was quite unique to what I already own in my collection. I don't own anything like this, but it just to me looks like the most beautiful haunting night sky. I'm intrigued by the base color, those beautiful glitters in contrast. I could see myself getting quite a lot of use out of a polish like this. I know that it does have not only glitters, holographic glitters, but it does list that it has reflective glitters. And actually, to me, that is a positive thing. I'm one of those ones that is on team reflective glitter. I love that otherworldly, um, just shine and sparkle that reflective glitters can give that's different than any other nail polish component. So for me, that is a draw for this polish. And I just think it's really beautiful. And I'm eager always to try different brands, new to me brands. And I just think this polish is lovely. And there it is with a flash. So you can see the quantity of reflective glitters, which looks rather generous, but also not too overwhelming in itself. So this polish is Chameleon Nails. He comes at nightfall. Now, the next item on my wish list is also a Chameleon Nails polish, and this one is called Tree of the Dead. And again, looking at it right away, I know I have nothing like this one at all. This is completely unique. And the fact that this is a new to me brand, plus the uniqueness factor, I added this one immediately to my wish list. So the inspiration for this one is also the movie Sleepy Hollow, by the Tree of the Dead, which is the tree under which the headless horseman's body lies. It's also a gate to hell. The horseman enters hell via the Tree of the Dead at the end of the movie. Oh, I guess that's a spoiler. I haven't seen this movie, so anyway, I hope that didn't ruin the movie for you. So anyway, the description of this one is that it is a brown cold to magenta dusky pink warm thermal with orange yellow iridescent flakes, black matte glitters in various sizes, and tiny orange holographic glitters. So a lot of incredible things in here, but it really was the contrast of this shift in this thermal that got me. This dusky pink to brown. I mean, I don't own a whole lot of thermals, and I do have to actually make a better effort to wear the ones that I have, because thermals do have a shelf life, and only last an amount of time before they tend to get stuck in one state or the other. I have to say, like, the dramatic contrast between the warm and cold state in this polish to me is absolutely stunning. And I really like both of these states. And I love the look of what these swatchers have been able to achieve here in the in-between phases as well. So yeah, just everything about this is very cool to me. So here's a look of it in the warm state, which is that magenta dusky pink, and the contrast of the glitters and the flakes. And I think this is beautiful. And then again, checking out this brown state, which is the cold state. And again, the look of that with the glitters and the flakes. I think this is beautiful in both states. And I'd really love to give this brand a try. So this is Chameleon Nails Tree of the Dead. So this next polish is by Dark and Twisted Lacquer, and it's called Cursed. And the inspiration behind this one is the werewolf movie with Christina Ricci, Cursed. And the description for this one is that it is a red base with a touch of neon and large particle aurora orange copper shimmer. I have to say, this one on its on the landing page stood out for me right away. It's a little bit of brightness and brilliance in a month where there's a lot more dark, vampier, deeper color polishes. So I do have to take a look at my collection a little bit. I know I don't own a whole lot of reds. I'll have to see how this compares with ones I already own. But just this one was sort of a breath of bright, fresh air in amongst a bunch of deeper, darker, more haunting polishes this month. But I do think this is really beautiful. I'm loving the look of the shimmer against this base. I also find it interesting how in some cases this seems to be a little bit more like purple raspberry almost leaning. And in other cases, it's a little bit more orange, almost tomatoey leaning. So I am kind of intrigued by that as well, that it looks like there could be just in different lighting, different number of coats, like maybe it deepens it up. I'm not really sure. I will be on the lookout for some swatch videos as well as comparing this polish to ones that I already own in my collection. But I do think that this offering is really quite beautiful. So Dark and Twisted Lacquer, Cursed. This next offering on my wish list is also by Dark and Twisted Lacquer, and it's called Boo 2.0. And the inspiration for this one is the movie Satan's Little Helper. And the description for this one is this polish is a jelly-like charcoal gray loaded with hollow and coppery pumpkin-colored hexes in it. The 2.0 version has added reflective glitters, and there are only 35 of these items to go around. That is a very small availability cap. So I have to keep that in mind if I decide to keep this one on my wish list and end up adding it to my cart. So the fact that this one has reflective glitters, again, I love that kind of a finish. I think it adds just a fabulous sparkle, no matter what the lighting. So that is appealing to me. Also, it was this swatch here that had me add this item to my wish list. I just think that the look of this over top of all these different types of bases is just so transformative. And I'm loving the look and the versatility. It looks like a really good quality topper. If you decide to use it that way, with great coverage, it looks like quite even coverage. I mean, I wish I knew exactly how many coats were being used here for this topper effect, but I think it looks beautiful with all these different combinations. And so this image right here, way to go. I mean, the credit here goes to Polished Jess. Way to go for that swatch photo. This is what had me add it to my wish list. I am also liking the look of this one on its own. It looks like it has a decent amount of buildability. Yeah, it looks like you can build it up quite well. And I know I don't own anything like this one. So this is Dark and Twisted Lacquer's Boo 2.0. So this next item is another one from Dark and Twisted Lacquer, and this one is called Death Becomes Her. And the inspiration for this one is the movie with Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep called Death Becomes Her. And believe it or not, I actually saw this movie. This is one of the rare scarier movies that I've actually seen in my life. So I do know at least a little bit about the inspiration for this one. The description for this polish is that it is a blackened burgundy with purple blue shimmer and a small amount of reflective glitter and some iridescent micros. The color of this one was just beautiful. I really enjoy this kind of blackened burgundy look with the shimmer. When I searched through the swatch photos to see what the reflective glitter component might look like and sort of the quantity involved in this polish, it did have a look like there was just a small amount of reflective glitter, which to me, I think just adds a hint of that extra sparkle without it being too thick and overwhelming. So this polish does intrigue me. Now, again, this is a polish color that I have been drawn to quite a bit, this kind of burgundy color. So I will have to see how this one compares with others in my collection, but it is really beautiful. And I know that if I purchased it, I would love it. So this one is Dark and Twisted Lacquer's Death Becomes Her. The next one up is by Fancy Gloss, and this one is called Fear Street. And the inspiration is Fear Street. And the description for this polish is that it is a plum in its cold state to orangey red in its warm state with red shimmer and a subtle red magnetic effect. So a magnetic thermal, very cool. Something that appealed to me when I first saw this polish is actually that I only own one polish from Fancy Gloss, and it is a thermal, and I love it. It's one I bought about a year and a half ago from Polished Pickup. And I do find that the thermal effect still works now, even a year and a half later. I've been meaning to purchase other items from Fancy Gloss, and I just haven't really had the opportunity. And that's where I love these collaboration boxes and collaboration websites so much because some of these brands that maybe are not always as accessible to you, and fancy gloss is not quite as accessible to me living in Canada. It gives me an opportunity to check out an offering every once in a while. And in this case, this one really appeals. Again, I like both states of this polish. I think both colors are beautiful. And I really love how in the plum state, that shimmer really appears to pop. Whereas in the warmer state, the orangey red state, it looks like it's more of a complementary shimmer. Um, so to me, that's a little bit of an interesting feature, the way that blends. It does look like the magnetic effect is quite subtle. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if that's what I'm seeing here, but it does maybe appear that I might be seeing a little bit of a magnetic liner effect here. I'm not exactly sure though. There was another image here too where I think I was seeing the subtle magnetic effect. Maybe not in that one, but that is beautiful. This one does intrigue me. And the one fancy gloss polish that I do own, I absolutely love. I think the quality of it is excellent. And I'd love to try another one. So this one is Fancy Gloss Fear Street. I can't get over the shifts in this offering. So this one is Linby Designs The Haunted Mask. And the inspiration for this one is the Goosebumps book by the same name. And the description for this one is that it is a magenta-based multichrome with purple to pink to orange to gold and hints of green shift. I mean, the shifts of this polish just look out of this world cool. Like I think this looks incredible. And I love the look of this polish too on all these different skin tones that we have in this collage of swatch photos. It's just so impressive. I really like this one a lot. I don't know what else to say. Very impressive, very shifty. I think it's beautiful. So this one is Linby Designs The Haunted Mask. This next polish is by Luna Lab Creations, and it's called There Are No More Boundaries to Cross. And the inspiration of this one is American Psycho. And the description for this one is that it is a black base with red magnetic shimmer and magenta shifting flakies. I mean, I think the magnetic effect for this one is really beautiful. I think that quite a few of these swatch photos here in this landing collage show that off quite beautifully, and the effect of the flakies as well. Those shifting flakies, I think, add such a nice point of interest and texture. I just think this is totally unique to anything I have. Just clicked on another one here, and again, I really love that magnetic effect, the contrast of those flakies, the shifting flakies. I think this is beautiful. So this one is Luna Lab Creations. There Are No More Boundaries to Cross. This next offering on my wish list is by Night Owl Lacquer, and it's called T-Rex Doesn't Want to Be Fed. And the inspiration for this one is Jurassic Park. And yes, I've seen this movie too. This one is an olive green crelly filled with black-red multichrome microflakies and black-red-orange multichrome flakes. I think that this polish is such a wonderful interpretation of the inspiration of Jurassic Park. I mean, to me, it is a very reptilian green, and then with those flakies in it as well, adding that kind of otherworldly quality to it. And it does evoke all kinds of memories of me seeing Jurassic Park for the very first time back in the 90s. So I just think that this polish is an incredible interpretation, and I think it's beautiful. And not only does it evoke Jurassic Park for me, but it does have all kinds of gorgeous fall vibes, and I think I would get a ton of use out of this polish. So Night Owl Lacquer T-Rex Doesn't Want to Be Fed. This next item is a topper, and actually I do have quite a few toppers that I've added to my wish list this month. I don't own too many toppers, and it's something that I'd like to get into using a little bit more often, although I don't know that I need all of the ones on my wish list that I've put there at this point. So this one is by Paradox Polish, and it's called Final Destination. Again, it is a topper. The inspiration for this one is Final Destination movie, and the description is that it is a orange, red, gold, green, blue shift iridescent flake topper. So quite a rainbow of shifts in those flakes. Now, I have to say again, another huge shout out to the swatchers this month. I find that they've been showcasing some of these offerings in ways that have had me give some of these items a much closer look and in turn add it to my wish list. So, I mean, not only do I really like the way that this polish looks on its own, I mean, I was kind of wondering, like from taking a look at the bottle shot here, it does almost look a little bit cloudy, maybe with a hint of color to it. So I am wondering if this swatch photo here, I mean, it has quite a bit of opacity to it, or maybe translucence would be a better word for it, but it does look buildable. I do see a hint of clouding over the nail line in this image here. The visible nail line is not prominent at all. So I'm not sure if that's due to a blurring base or if that's due to this topper just being built up in multiple coats. The other thing that really caught my eye was the way that this topper is being used with the nail art and how it looks over top of the black polish here. This right here. I mean, it looks great over black, but I also love the way that they've used stamping. Such a cool look. Anyway, so I saw this and I added it to my wish list. I do need to think a little bit about how this might compare. I mean, as I said, I own very few toppers. I don't actually use them that much, but I would like to because they are so transformative. And this is such a great example right here, this swatch photo of how a topper can be so versatile and incorporated into things like nail art to add to that cool artistic effect. Paradox Polish, Final Destination, and it's a topper. This next item on my wish list is by Paradox Polish, and it's called Twilight Zone. And this one is a glow-in-the-dark topper. And the inspiration for this one, it says, you have to have the Twilight Zone in a classic scary movies theme. Ready for a Twilight Zone movie marathon? My answer to that is no, I'm not ready for a Twilight Zone marathon. Yeah, scary things they're really not my thing. So for the description, it says, glow in the dark is a ghostly white. This can be used as a topper or base. And this is a permanent item in the Little Box of Horrors store. So that's actually a great thing. If this is something that you're interested in, this should be available month after month after month. And actually, I have noticed it before in the listings, but it wasn't really till now that I've been in the market for a glow-in-the-dark topper. And I'm actually having a bit of a tough time finding exactly what I need. The thing that I think is so cool is that this month there actually are several different glow-in-the-dark topper offerings by Paradox Polish. Some of them, actually a lot of them are permanent items in the Little Box of Horrors store. But this one in particular seems to fit most of what I need. I'm looking for something that's versatile, something that is glow in the dark, and I was really kind of looking at it in terms of some Halloween nail art. Now, I know that I'm not going to receive this in the mail in time for Halloween. I know this, and I'll go over those details later on. I really have been looking for this, and it's been very hard for me to find. So yeah, I like how, I mean, when it's used here as a base, it looks mostly quite sheer and invisible. Like there is a cloudiness to it, but it's very subtle. And here it is in some nail art. And then the look of how that is in the dark is pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that is clear, and I like that white look. There is another offering this month that gives more of a green glow in the dark look. And there are some other offerings as well with sort of less transparent bases and with different types of glow when the lights are out. So this one for me just seems to fit what I need. So this item is Paradox Polish Twilight Zone Glow in the Dark Topper. So this next polish up is by Potion Polish, and it's called Dead-ish. And the inspiration for this one is Dawn of the Dead from 2004. So the description for this one is that it is a smoky black jelly base packed with red copper gold shimmer and a dash of scattered holographic pigment. And I just really think that this one is beautiful. I think it's got a really nice, just deep fall look. The fact that there's some scattered holographic pigment in it, to me, would add a really nice sparkle in the light, in the sunlight, maybe adding a bit of a lightness to what otherwise is quite a dark looking polish. When I saw this one, I thought it was beautiful and a rather dark take on something quite elegant. So Potion Polish, Deadish. This next polish up is also by Potion Polish, and it's called I Kill People I Like 2.0. I'm actually unfamiliar with the original, so this one for me is new. Um, the inspiration for this one is Tate Langdon from Murder House, and the description is that it is a vampy blackened red with large particle red shimmer. And it says even deeper and vampier than before. And there are only 110 of these available. I have to say, this one is just so deep and vampy looking. Again, I think it is just a really great, deep, elegant offering. When I saw it, I thought, oh, it's just darkly beautiful. Like that's all I could really think of to describe it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's elegant, and yes, vampy, very, very deep. This one is Potion Polish, I Kill People I Like 2.0. This next one up is by Sassy Cat's Lacquer, and it's called Scene. And the inspiration for this one is The Arrival. And the description is that it is a rust base with gold shimmer. There are only 50 of these polishes available. I've been very drawn to Sassy Cat's Lacquer over the last 6 months or so. I've been really loving their takes on base color with contrasting shimmer. The fact that this one is described as a rust base, I mean, I see the gold shimmer, but the fact that this is a rust base, I mean, that's so intriguing to me. And, but the thing that really caught my eye with this one is it just looked like a look of almost vintage brass. And I thought, I've really never seen anything like this before. I don't have anything like this in my collection. And I mean, I saw this and I don't know what it is about it. Like it strikes me in a different way. I mean, I live in a home where, because of the age of it, a lot of the finishes like doorknobs or whatever are this kind of brass look, features around a fireplace. It's brass and they're fixed features in my home. And I don't know, there's just something about this polish that gives me that effect of vintage brass. I kind of love it. I could see that a lot of people might not, but I'm drawn to this one. So Sassy Cat's Lacquer, Scene. I just wanted to give a big shout out here to Sassy Cat's Lacquer. I really had to limit myself and pick. I decided to just pick my one top Sassy Cat's Lacquer polish to add to my wish list this month. But I have to say, when I was scrolling through the website to see the polish offerings, there's 49 polish offerings this month. I have to say, when I saw this row of polishes by Sassy Cat's Lacquer, I thought, what a cool like Skittle effect this could create if you purchased all four. I cannot do that. My budget won't allow for it. But if anybody does decide to do it, I thought that these four together have the potential to make the most gorgeous sort of deep fall Skittle. I don't know. I love it. Way to go, Sassy Cat's Lacquer. This next item on my wish list is by Victoria and Varnish, and it's called Nix the Illusion. The inspiration for this one is Clive Barker's 1995 film Lord of Illusions, particularly the antagonist Nix. And the description for this one is that it is glow in the dark. And it's a blue glowy shimmer base with UCC flakies in pink, fuchsia, purple, gold, green, and blue glow in the dark. So yeah, there's 200 of these available. So a decent number are available this month. The shimmer to this one just seems to pop off the nail. Like it looks like it is an incredibly blue shimmer base on this one. And the look of the flakies in it as well really caught my eye. Now I wanted to give it, I'm not sure who the swatcher is who submitted this image for the website, but I just want to give a really big shout out. I love the way this swatcher has decided to show this glowy polish over top of several different bases, a pale gray, a silver, a mid-tone blue, and a blurple. So really a versatile polish. I like how it looks on its own. I think it's stunning on its own. And I never really would have thought of this as a topper, but I can see a huge amount of possibility for this polish as a really cool topper over top of several different bases. These ones and even more. It makes me curious to know how it looks over black or a white as well. So anyway, this one is Victorian Varnish Nix the Illusion, and I wish I knew who this swatcher is because I would give them a big shout out. The final polish item on my wish list, it's been a marathon, thanks for sticking with me, is by Witch Cult Nail Lacquer, and this one is called Welcome to Silent Hill. And this one is inspired by a Silent Hill movie poster. The description of this one is that it is a gray polish with a red gold shimmer, and there's only 50 of these available. I just think this polish is beautiful. I don't know what else to say. I think that the shimmer against this base is gorgeous. I love gray polishes. They've been becoming one of my favorite sort of neutral polishes. I From the way this one looks in the swatch photos, I think this one could also be kind of an interesting, like work appropriate polish as well. Like it is like a neutral, but definitely a twist on a typical neutral polish. For some, it might be pushing the envelope a little bit in terms of a workplace, but I don't know. I really do think that this is beautiful and unique, and I love it. Witch Cult Nail Lacquer, welcome to Silent Hill. So this is the first of my non-polish items in my wish list, and this one is by Ribbit Stickets, and this is one of my go-tos, unforgettable hand and cuticle cream in Scream. And the inspiration for this one is Scream. So the description for this one is that it is the I'm a little woozy here scent, and it is described as having caramelized sugar, sea salt, pecans, vanilla, and buttery smooth caramel. That sounds really deliciously wonderful. And this is a 2-ounce jar. I love this product. I've used it for well over a year. It lasts really well. I always find that their scents are very present, but also not too overwhelming. And I love it. This is Ribbit Stickets Unforgettable Cuticle Cream in Scream. This next item is by Saki Cosmetics, and it is the Sparkling Pear Whipped Body Scrub. And the inspiration for this one is Pear Riesling, and the description, our whipped body scrub in a sparkly pear champagne scent. That sounds lovely. This one is a 2-ounce quantity, and there are only 15 of these items available, so a very small cap here. Now, actually, I have to say the body scrub, I've only ever tried one by Saki Cosmetics, and it is my favorite body scrub that I've ever tried. The one that I have is nearly finished, and it's in a cookies and cream scent, and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to be so sad when it's gone. So I would love to try it in another scent. The thing that I find so interesting and unique about this body scrub for me and for my body is that I do find it exceptionally moisturizing. So I'd love to give Saki Cosmetics Body Scrub a try again in another scent. This one is the Saki Cosmetics Sparkling Pear Whipped Body Scrub offering. This is my final item on my wish list, and this is by Saki Cosmetics as well. And this one is their Pumpkin Peanut Brittle Emulsified Body Butter. And again, very, very small availability cap on this one, only 15 available. The inspiration of this one is pumpkin desserts, and the description here is that our lightweight emulsified body butter in a pumpkin peanut brittle scent. I haven't tried this product before. I thought that this scent description sounded rather delectable and very seasonally appealing, and I just love to give it a try. So this is the Saki Cosmetics Pumpkin Peanut Brittle Emulsified Body Butter. So that is it for my very enormous wish list. And that's even cut down a little bit. I have to cut this way back before the shop opens on September the 18th, which is very soon. So a little bit about the Little Box of Horrors as a collaboration website. So this is a pre-order store where you can buy unique indie crafts that is inspired by horror, paranormal, supernatural, sci-fi, and mystery themes. The wish listing starts on the 15th of January, March, May, September, and November. at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. And the store opens on the 18th of respective months at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So what that means then is that this shop will be open on September the 18th for shopping at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. The shipping starts on the 15th the following month, and it says, please allow 3 to 4 weeks to receive your order. So just as an example, this month, shipping should start on the 15th of the following month when the shop closes. So that would be October the 15th. And it says, please allow 3 to 4 weeks to receive your order. So that would mean that you'd be looking at either receiving your order kind of at the very end of the month of October this month, or the beginning of November. There is more information here on the website that you can check out, store policies, things like that. But I also wanted to point out here, when you take a look at the Little Box of Horror website, there's a Shop All feature. What I tried to do this month is I tried to focus most of my attention on the polish items. I did take a look also at the other items to see some of the body care items. That's something else that I'm drawn to. There are also an incredible number of handcrafted items, things like bags and jewelry. I didn't add those to my wish list this time around, but they are absolutely worth a look for anybody really into this type of a product with horror, paranormal, sci-fi themes. Please check this out. The offerings that the makers create are just out of this world unique. This is becoming one of my favorite collaboration websites of them all. I think this one is incredible. Also here we've got reanimation, where some makers have the opportunity to bring back some polishes from previous months. I did try to keep most of my attention on the current offerings. There's also tricks and treats, where from time to time, not every month, but from time to time, the tricks or treats section is loaded up. So give that a look too. Go check out the website yourself and check it out. The website is lbofhorrors.com. So that's it for my wish list video for Little Box of Horrors for the month of September 2023 for the classic horror movie theme from the 90s to the 2000s. The store opens September 18th and goes until September 30th. And the shop is in the Pacific time zone. So the shop opening time is September 18th at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So that's it for my wish list. I'd love to know, are you shopping this month? What items are on your wish list? Feel free to add your comments and we can chat a little bit about what people are purchasing. What do you think of my wish list? Any thoughts about my picks this month? Thanks so much for watching. If you like this type of content, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.